Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, you're tuned in to Home Build Happiness. My name's Ron.
I'm Lauren.
And if you're new to the channel, let me give you a quick breakdown of what this video is. We're basically past van dwellers or van lifers. We've traveled the country. We enjoyed doing it. We wanted to keep doing it. We needed something a tad bit bigger. So we built up our home right here in a 7x16 by 7 cargo trailer, and we've hit the road in that. Now, we're full-time living in this thing. And this right here is basically a 6-month update as to what we're doing with our life, how things are going, and if you're planning on doing this yourself, some things that you probably want to look forward to, some things you want to look out for. Basically, this is a video where you can learn from any of our mistakes if this is the lifestyle you want to live. Guys, let's get comfy and get right to it. So the first thing that we wanted to cover here is life in a 16-foot trailer sustainable? Is it sustainable for 2 adults and a cat to live full-time in a 7-foot by 16-foot trailer? A lot of people, when they think of a home that size, they think like that's way too small. Lauren, is it sustainable what we're doing here?
I say yes. Honestly, it's kind of like having a 1-bedroom apartment, but everything's just condensed a little bit. And with that, it seemed to work out really well for us. We don't have a ton of things that we bring with us, but this is really, it's just like a 1-bedroom apartment on wheels. It's awesome. Like, you can take your home with you on the go, and I think that's great.
It doesn't feel like we're missing out on a whole lot, and that's only because all the amenities that we need are here.
Right here.
But because all of our needs are met and we're very comfortable, 7x16 works for us. It does a great job.
Yeah. I will say though, sometimes when cooking we bump butts, but that's to be expected. It's not even bad. It's just like, oh, bump, here we are.
So for any of you who are thinking about buying, this is a question that comes up on the forums quite a bit. Should I get a 6x12, a 7x12, an 8.5 wide by, whatever? You hear those kind of questions, and so I like the 7-foot trailer only because I can tow it with our van. I can look through a normal mirror and I can see all the way down the side. But when we're trying to cook, if I'm here and Lauren's behind me,
yeah, it comes in, we get one of these, and if I'm trying to do something here, then we go bump.
So we're
a little bump butt here and there.
Yeah, we do bump backs a bit. So if you're thinking about buying, there's pros and cons. The 8.5 is going to give you some space for some nightstands next to your bed. The 7-foot is going to make it to where a queen size bed is going to fit perfectly sideways in here. But the trade-offs with those wider trailers are that you're going to be hugging the lines on the road a little bit more.
A bigger vehicle to tow with.
You're going to want those tow mirrors, so if you got a Dodge Ram with these guys, you're going to want to utilize those. But for us, the 7x16 does feel comfortable.
A question that often comes up is there any problems that you guys have had with the trailer?
So if you've kept up with this series, if you've watched the CTC series, there's actually a video, it's one of the final videos of that series, where I talk about some leaks that we were having while I was still building this trailer, and I thought I had them tacked down. One is actually in the top right side of the door. Once we started traveling a little bit, we got 2 states away, and we did start getting some more leakage through the corner of the door, and it was presenting itself as a puddle on the floor. This is what I did. Instead of taking the sealant and just kind of like going through every little crack on the outside, I had some Dynaflex, some black Dynaflex, and I went inside and I just stuck the caulking tube on the inside of the door, and I literally just started pumping the door full up in the door frame. And the idea was, however water's getting into this trailer, if I just pump it full, it's gonna present itself on the outside. I'm gonna see black silicone on the outside of the trailer, and I did. I saw a very, very, very small area where water was coming in. We don't have the issue no more. That is the only thing. And when we're building this trailer up from the ground up, kind of the way we did, I mean, literally just gutting everything, you really don't know once you start moving down the road, or the gas line's gonna leak, is for the water, or any of those crimp fittings gonna give, is your 12-volt fridge really up for full-time service. A lot of people in the forums really kind of gave me grief. I don't know if you remember this, about me mounting a 65-pound battery in the shelf up here. Folks, I'm here to tell you that this shelf is fine. When we were
knocking on wood, because
anytime. But when
it's been very sturdy. Sturdy.
Well, you remember when we were
Yeah.
when we were installing the battery, I actually lost my footing on a ladder right here, and I hung off of this shelf.
It's like dangling.
Literally hung all of my body weight off of it with the battery in it. I didn't even break the caulking line, like it stayed firm. This shelf, I was getting something out of here. I was standing on a chair. The chair slipped out again, and it was absolutely fine.
Yeah, and it's been super sturdy. And I say it, I knock on wood just in case. I don't want to leave it up to the wood gods.
Yeah. The only thing that we were just talking about before filming that you said you'd replace.
Oh, the mattress. Yes, I did say I would replace that. We've had this mattress
way before the trailer.
Way before the trailer. When we were living in an apartment and stuff, we had this bed, and it's just getting to the point that like the springs are kind of popping and sinking, and it's just not as good as it once was.
Guys, it's been a rough 4 years for that mattress. It's
been through a lot. It's seen its share of things between cats and everything else. So one other thing, with traveling with an animal, traveling with our cat Durf here, we did have some fly issues when the weather was a little bit warmer. So with that,
forgot about that.
Something that we did is we got fly traps on our windows, and we had a couple that were hanging. And then one suggestion, if you are going to travel with pets, or a cat specifically, I think it's more likely to happen with a cat than a dog. But if you have a litter box, making sure that you're cleaning it out. And they also have these little fruit fly traps that they sell at like Lowe's and Walmart. They look like a little apple. You put some vinegars in it and you mix it up, and it did wonders for us. So that's definitely something that I would say arose for us, that in warmer climates can definitely occur. And yeah, this is what the things look like. And basically you put some vinegars, and I forget what else you mix with it, but it comes with a little kit, and you mix it up, and then the flies go in there, and that's all she wrote for them. But that is something else that we ran into when we first got here, with the humidity being a little bit higher and it being warmer. There was a lot of bugs that kind of bred. But yeah, definitely keeping everything clean, and we were able to rectify that pretty quick.
If you're gonna have a cat litter box, I would recommend, in addition to using those vinegar traps, cleaning it every 24 hours. And I mean, if you start getting flies in here, also a spray bottle of rubbing alcohol. If you see them in the windows, hit them, they'll die instantly. But you know, using a very little bit of cat litter and changing it every 24 hours. Don't just clean it, change it.
Definitely
don't do it where you're sourcing your drinking water from. But if you do have an area where you can clean that box out with like a bleach solution every 24 hours, it's a lot of work, but you'll see those flies disappear.
All right. Any issues with weather change?
This is a big one.
Yeah. So
hey, if you're gonna do this, even if you're living in a camper or just like an RV, doesn't matter if it's DIY, prefab. This is really, really important, folks. Winter's gonna bring some unique challenges with living full time in a camper. If it's your first year,
you don't know what you don't know, and we learned that quick.
And in the forums, I see that a lot of folks, they try to attribute this to lack of insulation and R value and what all of this stuff. Listen, here's how it works. Seriously, if you're living in here, you're putting out, a human body puts out almost 30 ounces. That's almost a liter of water vapor into the air per person per 24 hours every day. So that's a liter for her, it's a liter for me. That's 2 liters of vapor in this camper every single day. It's not a matter of insulation. It really isn't any of that. If you're going to be in here for a while and living full time, you're going to be expelling moisture. And when it's warm in here and you have moisture vapor and this turns cold, water's going to stick to it. Water's going to stick to that. If you don't have, if you have metal, all of these screw heads are going to get moisture on them. You're going to see moisture across the top. And when it first started, what did we do?
Remember, a lot of damp red in our days.
We used a lot of damp red.
Try to cycle out the air, as far as opening the windows and like creating a suction to get some of the air flowing through.
We used a squeegee. We used to use this squeegee every morning, and we were squeegeeing the windows just to try to get some of that moisture away. And from us doing that, we would see the moisture in some of these common areas that you can see right here. You would see that go away, but what we weren't seeing is areas like underneath the toe kick and this base cabinet in the very back. Moisture would accumulate underneath there where air could not get to it to evaporate it when it warmed up outside. It couldn't get behind our dresser. It couldn't get behind these walls. And when we started deep cleaning,
Terrible happened.
what did we find?
We found mold. Oh.
We did start finding mold, folks. So, listen, you're going to see a lot on these forums about all kinds of stuff people try to do, and
bleaching your walls and
Use-
windows open,
yeah.
and damp rids
and people like to blame propane heaters for it and all this. And listen, propane does add to the moisture in the air. That is a fact. But just you being in here is creating moisture. Just me talking to you is creating moisture. So what we did, how we actually rectified that,
it's magic.
it is, we got this dehumidifier right here. And we bought this guy. It's a little overkill for what it is, for the size of this trailer. It's a 20 pine unit, which is a little bit of overkill. But folks, humidity stays ultra low in here now. We pull about a gallon of moisture out of here every 2 days, 2 to 3 days.
This thing's magic. It just pulls all the water out. We don't even have to squeegee the windows anymore. It keeps everything like cool and crisp, and it just, like before we got it, it would even feel like you could feel the moisture in the air sometimes.
It was harder to heat it.
Yeah, it's harder to heat it. And once we got that and it would just start pulling everything, we have not seen mold, not once since. We haven't had like any issues with that. The air has been cool.
And
I feel like I can breathe better in here.
And listen, folks, we take showers in here. It used to be we would keep the temperature right at like 95 degrees because we didn't want to steam up the trailer. Humidity was a big deal because it was hard for us to get it out, especially living in a humid area in western North Carolina. We got this dehumidifier on. We take showers however we want to. We hang our towels up. We let them dry in this trailer. We have no problems at all. Nothing smells moldy. Nothing smells musty. It has digital readout on it. Everything stays ultra dry in here now. So listen, if you're going on the road and you're dealing with humidity issues and you're starting to see moisture form around your door frame, around your windows, get a dehumidifier and
make the investment. It is worth every penny.
Don't buy one of them little cheapy $50 deals either. We did that. It did not work. Spend the money. This is a Media Cube dehumidifier. It's 20 pints. It cost us almost just shy of $200. Folks, it's worth your breathing. It's worth your health. It's worth not getting mold poisoning and having to deal with that, because once it permeates your which we never dealt with it, but once it starts permeating,
like your mattress, your blankets and stuff,
even
your clothes.
Yeah. And we don't even deal with, our shower curtain doesn't even mold. Like in your house, you get the mold at the bottom. Our shower curtain doesn't even mold or anything. It's really a good investment.
I will say it's probably one of the best investments we've made.
Folks, is another thing we wanted to fill you in on. When we first started this journey, there were some things that we intentionally did not plan into the build. There were some things that we didn't know we needed
or wanted.
So now we're going to talk to you about a little bit of that. The first thing, going back to humidity in the trailer, this thing's great, isn't it?
The squeegee's wonderful. You can use it for all kinds of cool stuff.
Listen, this thing is so underrated. Like, it just, you're going, what are you going to do with this? Like, you're going to keep the humidity down on your trailers, what you're going to do. You can squeegee your windows, you can squeegee your shower, you can squeegee your sink when you're done using that. You can also, if I need to spot clean an area on our tile floor, I just get a shop rag or a piece of Kleenex and I toss it down on the floor wet. Put this on top of it and I just drag it around like a Swiffer. I can actually clean the floor with this thing. If I mop the floor, instead of taking a towel and trying to dry it like with a towel or something, I can take a dry towel and put this on it, or I can squeegee all the moisture left on the floor into one location and just pick it up really easily. This thing is a godsend.
And one of my personal favorites, okay, well, I guess all of them. There's two personal favorites on this list, but our microwave. We got a microwave, which is great, especially when I want a little bag of popcorn to snack on. But it's one of those things, like we have the gas stove, and that's all fine and dandy, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer to cook some things. So the microwave made just quick meals, which is something we decided we needed.
So the microwave is one of those things that we specifically left off the build list. Mm-hmm. When we built this camper, the idea was we wanted to be a lot more healthy. We didn't just want to like nuke Hungry Man's. Like, that wasn't a part of the plan. So we intentionally did not install a microwave in this camper. The only thing is, when it comes to wanting to eat a little healthier, especially when you're working full time, sometimes you got time to cook some frozen vegetables. Sometimes you can pop some steamed fresh broccoli in there and you can have it in 5 minutes. And if you're already running a generator, because we do supplement with a Honda generator, and sometimes if you've already got the generator running, it's like it doesn't cost you anything to put that on, where when you're running gas, heating up food takes a lot longer. You're using gas, which you are going to have to refill. So from a financial perspective, it actually costs more to use this than it does just to nuke something. And then also, when we started cooking on the gas, when you don't eat it all, you might want food for later, you put it in your fridge, you don't really have a good way to reheat it, where the microwave does solve that problem. We bought it at Walmart. It's a 700 watt microwave. We're not going to review the microwave just because it's a microwave. You guys know what it does. However, it doesn't run 700 watts, all right? If you're planning on putting one of these in, it's the 700 watt model from Walmart. It's currently $55.99. It says 700 on the box. It runs normally under load. We're pulling almost 1100 watts out of it, and on startup, it's going somewhere past 1300. I don't know exactly how much, but I know we're breaking 100 amps DC, and I cannot start it on a 1200 watt inverter. What else do we got, Lauren? What else do we have in the trailer?
My other personal favorite, heated blankets. That was one of the first things we got when it started to get colder here, because we're like, all right, we got these little space heaters. They're kind of doing something, but at the same time, we're still kind of cold. So we got the heated blankets. Definitely worth it.
But one thing about the blankets, from a numbers perspective, and I'm always talking about the technical side of things in these videos, if you're running off grid and you're talking about running a space heater, you guys don't want to heat with propane. You do not, if you don't have vented propane, you need a vented propane heating system. Don't use a buddy heater, because you can see in the frame, we have a low level carbon monoxide detector. I have registered almost 40 parts per million of carbon monoxide in this trailer using a little buddy, not even the full size, using a little buddy for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Using it right here on the floor, I've registered 40 ppm off of that unit. It just because you're not setting an alarm off does not mean you're not generating carbon monoxide. You have to vent a window. And folks, if it's 15-20 degrees outside, you don't want to open windows when you're trying to cool it. So these heated blankets, they initially start up using a little over, I think 90 or 100 watts, and then they use 60, 70 watts on the highest setting. If you're using a lithium battery, if you want something that can really keep you warm and something that's not going to kill your battery bank or your solar if it's during the daytime, these do a really great job. We can both have our blankets on the highest setting, and we're pulling about 110, 120 watts continuous.
And it kind of makes you feel like a burrito.
Folks,
Ronald's favorite.
the best thing we've added to this trailer. Listen, I don't care what you're doing. If you're planning a heater right now, take this advice. Do not... We're going to review it. You guys are going to get a video on it. We have a Chinese diesel heater. This thing is awesome. It's a 5 kilowatt unit. It's putting out 17,000 BTUs of heat. Folks, listen. It uses hardly any diesel. It will heat this trailer from about... Oh, God. It'll heat this trailer from like 59 degrees to 82 and sweaty in what, about what,
Like 10, maybe 15 minutes.
10-15 minutes, and it blows with the force of like a car heater on the highest setting.
It's like, so I say it's his favorite, which it is, because he has been really excited since the install of it and using it. It's not my favorite because while I like to be in a blankie, toasty like a burrito, I don't like being sweaty when I'm trying to sleep. And this thing makes it sweaty, which is great when it's cold. Like, don't get me wrong. We had a day, I think two days ago, where it was snowing and like 15 degrees outside. It felt like it was like I was at the beach in here.
Yeah.
But as I've said in numerous videos before, I don't like being hot. In that instance, it felt good because it was so cold outside. But man, oh man, it heats this thing up like boom. It's like being in an oven.
And from a power perspective, this thing is using...
It's good. It's really good.
It's using something like 100 watts, 12 volt, 100 watts to start, just to heat the glow plug. Once glow plugs are heated, this thing's using like 35, 40 watts to run. And when I'm telling you it's hot, I mean, it is hot. If you're doing a 7x16, you could get by with a 2 kilowatt version just fine. Seriously, you could run that on high and be fine. We can have snow on this trailer stuck to the outside of it.
And it's warm.
On the lowest setting and maintain 77 to 79 degrees. It is, I can't praise this thing enough.
Today's leader.
If you're van dwelling, if you got a boat, an RV,
nice and
an
warm.
off-grid cabin, if you want to heat a garage, a workshop,
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
buy one. Just buy one. It's the easiest thing in the world to install. You guys are going to like it. Oh my God, we're at the end of the 6-month update. So I guess, hold on, before we do any new plans, what are we doing? Just to give you folks an idea. Okay,
Yeah.
so
4 states this trailer's been into now.
Yeah, we've been into 4 states. We're in North Carolina. We're both working full-time jobs here. And the reason why we're working is because we have to fund these other endeavors. You know, towing a trailer this size, you're lucky. You are doing awesome if you have a gas-powered vehicle and you're pulling down 10 miles a gallon. If you got a diesel, you're probably doing much, a bit better than that. But if you're running pumped fuel, just unleaded gas, be good to get 10. We're pulling about 7 miles per gallon pulling this, and that's on a good day. We need money. So what's been going on with us? It's been a good year, and it's had some rough times, folks. Listen, Lauren and I both came down with COVID, so we have had COVID-19. We had to deal with that. I've lost my grandmother. I've lost an uncle, both due to COVID. Lost my mother recently. Boy, it's, you know what, when the devil's trying to do that to you, he sinks it deep, you know. But I know you've already seen it. The video's on here. That is one. You can click on that. We bought some homestead land, folks.
We did it.
We did. We went we've been searching for 5 years. In 2018, we almost bought land both in San Bernardino, California. We were looking at 2 acres. We were looking, and we almost bought 10 acres in Quemado, New Mexico in 2018.
We looked at some spots in Texas.
2020, we almost bought land in Castillo, Colorado, I believe is the name of the town. In 2021, during the pandemic shutdown, we almost bought land in Van Horn, Texas.
We looked at some spots here in North Carolina in the last 6 months that we were here.
Yep.
I've endlessly looked at stuff in the Northeast, like Vermont and stuff, even though I've never been, because it just seemed cool to me. Seemed like good spots.
But we did find the parcel. We found exactly what we wanted. About an hour south of Albuquerque. And again, if you haven't seen the video, I had that link that was just up there. You can rewind back, click on that, actually see what it looks like, kind of what our plans were with it. And that's where we're going later on this year. We're going to have a new playlist on the channel, and it's going to be the homesteading playlist. So if you're really interested in building an off-grid structure from ground up, we'll go into detail with doing solar, doing fully off-grid, or we might actually get a drop line of power out there at some point and start doing some videos on grid tie possibly. Or, we're thinking about maybe bringing a container out there on the property. And if you want to stay tuned on that, all you got to do is subscribe, folks. Should they subscribe?
Yes. They should also follow us on @HomeBuiltHappiness on Instagram.
If you want to see something where I'm not blabbing all the time, she runs that.
That's me.
So there's no reason not to. You're going to get to see everything we're doing. You're going to get to follow the CTC, the homestead. You're going to get to see, we do a lot of automotive videos because one thing that we are about is self-sustainability. We don't take the easy road a whole lot. Everything is really getting your hands dirty. So you're going to see a lot of that here. So folks, stay tuned. The best is really yet to come. If you have any questions or concerns about living off-grid, about homesteading, about living in a van, traveling, if there's any areas you're going into, we've been through 30 states. If there's any questions you have, maybe some places you're planning to head to that we can provide you some help, homestead...
Ask away.
It's not homestead happiness, it's homebuilt happiness at gmail.com. You can reach out to us directly. Listen, we don't do full-on consultations on any of that, but we do like to give advice. If you do want to support our channel and support our mission and things that we really are trying to put out here, you can go up in the description. We do have a link to PayPal. You can donate to this channel and kind of help throw us a cup of coffee or, just put a little bit of coin our way. At this point, we are not monetized by YouTube. We're not getting anything.
No, we're just doing this for you guys, for us to share what we're doing.
The reason we started this channel, this is not a lie. We did not start it as a business endeavor. We started the channel because we traveled in the van, and I only have one video of that posted up here. And some of the Throwback Thursday playlist videos are from that time. If you watch those, you will realize the quality of those videos is... It's really in the...
It was filmed with a potato.
It is. It's in the dumper. Seriously. And the truth is, I sat down before we bought the trailer, and I was trying to compile like 80, 90 hours of video. And I got really sad because it didn't capture some of the best times that we had. I got sad because I remembered them clearly here, and it was just grainy, and it didn't look good. So I told Lauren, when we leave out in this trailer, I want it to look like a movie. I want it to be clear. I want us to look back on it and it be crystal clear, and us to see the things we were doing on screen the way that we're picturing them up here. So then came the GoPro, next came Home Built Happiness, and that's really where this channel came from. It's a nice, polished, clean presentation of our travels and things we've done that we can look back on, and we can share it with family and friends. And you know what? To be honest, some of you guys commenting have become like family and friends because you actually care about what we're doing. Not only are you just watching some people live off grid, a lot of you are planning to do this, and you reach out to us, and it's like an extension of a family. So again, thank you for following us. If you have not subscribed, seriously, if you're still following this video, click on the subscribe. Check us out. Communicate with us. I always say at the end of these videos, join the family. And if you want to chit chat, drop a line in the comments, send us an email. We'll be happy to hit you back. From our family to yours,
Thanks for watching.
and we'll see you next time.